Hey, we are the Survey Corps, and this is Terra, the land of the living. We would be tackling various topics about the ecosystem, which includes the phosphorus phase, anthropogenic effects, invasive species, and epigenetics. Now, come and join us. The Sentimentary Cycle is a collective term used to describe the different biochemical cycles, in which the Earth's crust is the reservoir. This includes cycles of iron, calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, and other earthbound elements. These consists fundamentally differ from each other as it depends on the element, but they mainly consist of a solution water-related phase and a rock sediment phase.
The Prosperous Cycle is one of the biogeochemical cycles which plays an important role for the plants and animals to nourish its growth as well as our growth by consuming from it. Furthermore, it is also essential for the production of DNA and RNA. The Prosperous Cycle involves 4 key steps. First, weathering. Phosphorus can be found in rocks. Weathering along the rain breaks down the phosphorus, resulting for it to travel down the soil and in the water sources. Second, absorption. As the plants absorbs phosphorus, the animals also absorb some, as well as fungi and microorganisms for their growth. So basically, the phosphorus in water is absorbed by plants, which is consumed by animals where they also get the phosphorus. Third, decomposition. As animals excrete waste, decomposers can consume the phosphorus from waste material. Once the animal dies, the organic phosphorus that came from plants will turn into inorganic phosphorus in the process of mineralization. Lastly, sedimentation. Some sediments over time became rocks, and the cycle continues.
The term anthropogenic designates an effect or object resulting from human activity. Anthropogenic effects includes changes to biophysical environments and ecosystems, biodiversity and natural resources caused directly or indirectly by humans, including global warming, environmental degradation, such as ocean acidification, mass extinction, and biodiversity loss, ecological crisis, and ecological collapse. Modifying the environment to fit the needs of society is causing severe effects. Human activities interfere with the stability of ecological systems. Le Chatelier's principle states that when stress is applied to a system, the system responds to the disturbance by shifting to a direction that counteracts the disturbance to restore a new equilibrium state. Therefore, anthropogenic activities can affect the environment through disturbing the biogeochemical cycles and introduce invasive species, often unintentionally. Recently, people have been causing these biogeochemical cycles to change. When we cut down forests, make more factories, and drive more cars that burn fossil fuels, the way that carbon and nitrogen move around the Earth changes. These changes add more greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, and this causes climate change. Human actions such as mining phosphorus and transporting it in fertilizers, animal feeds, agricultural crops, and other products are altering the global P cycle, causing P to accumulate in some of the world's soil. Increasing P levels in the soil elevate the potential P runoff to aquatic ecosystems. Moreover, excessive levels of phosphorus are absorbed into the water, harming the aquatic ecosystem.
Invasive species are species that are introduced to a new environment where it is not native or indigenous, brought about by human activities. It can be any kind of organism, an amphibian, plant, insect, fungus, or even an organism seed or egg. They cause the extinctions of native animals and plants, reduce biodiversity, and alter habitats. Terrestrial or land-dwelling invasive species are those that evolve on land habitats. Plants include trees or shrubs and vines. Animals include reptiles, birds, or nematodes, and organisms include pathogens such as molds and fungus. Here are some examples of terrestrial invasive species. Cogum grass is an invasive weed that increases the risk of wildfire since it provides no food for native wildlife and burns hotter and quicker than native grasses. Another are the wild boars, which were imported as food sources and may have possibly escaped or were intentionally released. They damage the native plants and crops in an area and compete with native species for resources. In general, Invasive species are harmful to our natural resources because they cause disruption to natural communities and ecological processes. They can also cause economic harm when it obstructs certain industries.
The cell is always receiving signals from our surroundings, and this helps us to adapt in whatever situation we may be in. This is how the environment affects our epigenetics, in a way wherein our cells continuously harvest information so that the cells begin to develop. It is suited to its environment. It is the interaction of genetic variables and developmental processes by which the genotype is expressed in the phenotype. Genes can be turned on or off, and which proteins are transcribed, thanks to epigenetic modifications. As a reaction, phosphorus-rich deposits have developed in the ocean, and the geologic process have brought ocean sediments onto the land. Through time. Thank you.